Welcome back. September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and tonight we bring you an emotional story about one family's search for a cure. My colleague Brett Baer speaks with a father who is now fighting to save his son's life.
Thanks, Jillian. St. Jude's Children's Hospital estimates about 400,000 kids worldwide will be diagnosed with cancer this year. In the U.S., research and treatments have helped increase survival rates. 80% live 5 years or more. But a lot of work is being done to improve that statistic. Tonight, we share the story of one father who's creating a global network of scientists and researchers while raising millions to fast-track a cure for his son and kids around the world. Federico Goldstein was diagnosed with a brain tumor when he was just 9 years old.
It was 10 years ago, more or less. I learned that kids with brain tumor were left behind.
Federico's cancer, medulloblastoma, is the most common malignant brain tumor in children, but it is still rare. Just 5 out of 1 million kids are diagnosed with the disease each year, which has made finding funding for new research difficult. I moderated that panel in the Brazilian embassy back in March of 24, talking about how less than 4% of the U.S. federal cancer research is for pediatric research, which leaves a big hole, which you're trying to fill with some of the things that you're doing.
Yes. Actually, we are trying to make a turning point here because the treatments are from the 80s, so we are trying to do something to move this sad situation.
The 5-year survival rate for medulloblastoma is more than 80%. But if the disease comes back, the 5-year survival rate drops to less than 40%. When Federico's cancer recurred in 2019, doctors prepared his parents for the worst.
I was told by the doctors back then that there was nothing to do to save my son, that I should go back to home and spend time with him. And I didn't accept that, and I decided to do something.
Fernando, his dad, has made it his mission to find a cure for Federico, who is still dealing with the recurrent tumor at the age of 18. Sometimes it's tough when you look at something this daunting and you create something this big and you have to look down the road. How do you deal with it? It's a hope. You see light at the end of the tunnel. How do you think about it?
When I received that devastating news 5 years ago, after 2 weeks, I said to myself, I kind of recovered. You never recover, right? But I kind of recovered and said, I got to do something. I will do something.
2 years after Federico's cancer relapsed, Fernando launched the Medulloblastoma Initiative. And you're a businessman from Brazil, and you're an entrepreneur. So you put that business thought process into creating this organization.
We are trying to find a cure for this disease as soon as possible. So it's a model that brings together the best minds in the field. MBI is all about collaboration and synergy. So the scientists, to be funded by us, they have to work as a group. By each one having each piece of the puzzle, we were able to move very fast and achieving very interesting results.
The initiative has brought together more than a dozen labs around the world. What's the prognosis right now? What do you feel about progress and how it's going?
We are very excited because this model that I just explained to you allowed us to have 2 FDA clinical trials approved by FDA, right, in 2.5 years, which is very fast.
MBI notes that it can take up to 10 years for some drugs to reach clinical trials, but the 2 studies it helped fast-track are already showing signs of success. Do you see a change in how the FDA, the government is working? I mean, is it getting better? Are they starting to hear you?
I hope they will hear more after this this program today. But I mean, in September now is the Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, right? And I think it's a very good moment for the society as a whole get together.
In one study, an experimental vaccine appears to be boosting tumor-fighting effects of a common cancer drug. In another trial, scientists are programming a patient's white blood cells to seek and destroy tumor cells. The results have been promising, and one participant's cancer was nearly eliminated. 100% of the donations go to supporting research and clinical trials. It says that MBI was not created as a tribute or a memorial. It was created to save your son.
Yes.
And others.
Yes. That gives us a different sense of urgency because every day matters.
How is Federico?
He's doing all right. He's doing well, thanks God. He is an outlier, but we know that this type of tumor comes back, so it's a running against the time, and that's why we are moving fast to save him and to save thousands of other kids out there.
You can learn more or donate to the Medulloblastoma Initiative by visiting mbinitiative.org. We'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you, Brett.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.